If you are not 30 years old already, soon you'll be 30 years old. And what have you done with your life? I think one thing that I struggled a lot with was tracking myself across the timeline of this life until I figured it's probably an illusion in itself or whatever, but nobody cares about timelines. But then I kind of was freaking up about timelines. And now that I'm over 25, it's like a little more scary and like very hard. So what are we supposed to do? What am I supposed to do with the timeline issue? I don't know. But I'm wearing a sweater on a very cold day recording a YouTube video, so I'm gonna tell you what my thoughts are. Let's go. It can be very scary considering that you will be older soon, but that is something that you're not in control of. Like the fact that I think my shoes are screeching, so I'm gonna just take them off in this very moment because I don't know what is happening. But anyway, moving along. I think there's this reality of us realizing that we're getting older and there are certain things that we wanted to have accomplished at different stages of this thing of getting older. We wanted to be married, have kids, have a specific amount of money, be at a specific or different tax bracket, or just have things, right? But that is not something that works out accordingly. For one, I was taught that if you work hard in school and you dedicate yourself, education will open all the doors. It is that one important key. That thing like turned like I think as soon as we got our degrees, they were like, no, we don't need degrees no more. Now you can make money on TikTok or YouTube. So like if you did not dance during the pandemic, girl, we're screwed. But anyway, I went on to get my bachelor's in psychology and an MBA, but look at me now. I'm just an English teacher. But anyway, that is not the thing that I'm saying. I made this video because I want to talk to you guys about how you can change your life by divorcing old notions. Divorcing things meant to be. I think it's very easy to get trapped into the ideal of what you were meant to be, but realizing not quite quickly that that can change. What you are meant to be is your opinion of what your life was supposed to turn out, but it may not always turn out to be the reality. And you have the right and freedom, in most cases, the necessity to change what you used to want. Sometimes you're not actively changing, you just don't want those things anymore. Sometimes it's because you've been exposed to those things over a period of time that you no longer want them. For example, when I was younger, we were at a specific tax bracket that did not allow us in my family to have certain things. So such things as cornflakes, like cereals, are things that we just got occasionally when the months were good, or just some reason that some person, mom or dad, decided to purchase those things. So when I grew older, I imagined that, oh, when I start working, I'm gonna eat cornflakes every day, Kellogg's even, like the good kind. But I grew older, I don't even buy those things anymore because there was a period when I started to make money where I did purchase cereals a lot and I just ate them and I was like, they're not as good as I thought they were as a child. And I'm now more health conscious, so I'm aware that they have a lot of sugar and not quite worth it and whatever. But I think it's the taste component. I no longer want those things because I've had them so much. So it really is just something that did change with age and also being exposed to it now that I eat it more, and I just think maybe it's not so good. So it was both growing up and necessity that made me change the liking of the thing that I thought I would like the most. I also had an affinity or a very deep closeness with particular brands, and I just realized that they're not so good. Because if you not grew up, because that's like a stretch, if you ever watched Two Broke Girls when it was still on, there's this episode where Caroline Channing, after she lost all her billions, goes to work with and live with a girl who works at a diner in Manhattan or something. I think that's what happened. So she's like a billionaire girl who now has a life been downsized to just a regular person. She gets to experience eating what she called the poor people chips. So in my family, we were in the tax bracket of eating poor people chips on a regular. So we were focusing on brands that are useful for survival when it came to groceries. So we would buy usually store brands instead of name brands. So in Pick n Pay in South Africa or Swaziland, there's a store called Pick n Pay or Shoprite. Where you buy the right brand food or you buy no name brand. That's what they call it. So that, because it's cheaper than the name brand stuff. I used to eat that a lot to a point where when I started making money, I wanted to purchase the name brand stuff, but then I was like, it's not make sure it doesn't taste as good in my opinion. Like some of the stuff that you grew up thinking this is gonna make you happy, when I start making my money, I'm gonna shop at Zara, I'm gonna buy a Gucci, you find out that it's very expensive outside of your what you can afford, but also it's also just not that good if we're being really honest. The stuff that was your poor people stuff is just as good too. So what do you want to do about that? You are making this change consciously and unconsciously. You can decide that I'm actively going to work hard to purchase the things that I never had. But then now that you have all the opportunity to have those things, you don't want to do it. It's almost like this thing that I saw, that when we were younger, we were dying to go outside. We wanted to go out at every single moment of the day. But right now, as a grown-up, I do not want to go out with anybody. As soon as I clock off my work day, I am on the bus within 7 minutes. I am on my way home or the gym, and when I get off there, I am going back home to eat, relax, be in my own space. I don't want people around me. I think this is where we're at. So we are changing gradually, even when we're not conscious of the change that is happening around us. We are transforming into people that we never thought we were going to be. We are being exposed to these things. So the reality that we have to face is, how are we gonna be able to accept it? Acceptance is such a great deal. Let me tell you something that is both depressing and inspiring. I am a very accomplished person, I think, for my age. In my opinion, maybe to you it's not an accomplishment, but the fact that I am not living paycheck to paycheck, I do not owe anybody, I just, I think, in my opinion, I'm successful. I don't know about you. I'm a very disciplined person. I really care about a lot of things, and I just felt so frustrated at a particular point because I was not able to acquire a certain thing. I want to do a career shift. I want to move into creative spaces, but I've just not had my big break yet. So I was just talking to friends about, I'm so frustrated. And I got to realize that in my frustration by myself, I kind of got unintentionally self-absorbed into thinking that everything revolves around me, and I forgot that my friends too are going through their own personal things, that I could have supported them with things that I know now in terms of skills, exposure, and been working my pretty much whole life. So I think about this, what is depressing and inspiring at the same time about it is that everyone is struggling. Every single person is struggling. Everyone is struggling. That is great news because it shows that the world is messed up. It's not just you. You cannot just isolate yourself and say, hi, it's me. I'm the problem, it's me. Tea time, hey. Everybody agrees. Even if people agree, you're not just the only problem. I'm just saying. So, be inspired. I mean, be depressed. Take a shot at depressed though. But also just realize you are not the only problem. The economy is pretty not good. Opportunities are not as great in terms of we people that were taught to work hard. You're gonna have an MBA like me, but not have a job that is aligned to that. That is something that is going to happen. Can you recalibrate? Can you divorce yourself from your former perceived ideal person and try to create a better world? Try to create a new career trajectory. Talk to people, watch content on the internet, search for things that you could do. As long as you have the internet and you have access to people, I think you can talk to people and try a lot of new things, because you are not going to change your life by doing nothing. I say this with the understanding of that I really understand how difficult it is for some people. The level of difficulty that my life is something that somebody who is not here aspires to have. But unfortunately, you get here and then you want that. So the people that I want to be like also want something more. You can be what is the word that I'm looking for? You can be content but still want more. You can. And at tea time, everybody agrees that you can be content and still want more. So first you have to divorce yourself from masturbations. This is the whole point. There's this thing called masturbations, and I'm going to read through it together. So the conversation about masturbations is a conversation that was started by a late psychologist named Albert Ellis. And in this, Ellis coined this term to describe irrational demandingness. That is, we're being irrational about what must happen so that a particular thing happens. When instead of strongly wanting to achieve a goal, we demand change to achieve it. So people who experience masturbation insist on making grandiose demands on themselves, on others, and on life's conditions, which is something that is not gonna help you quite achieve. So get rid of your masturbations. You are not going to be a successful person if you focus on what must happen, what must be done, grandiose. Because grandiose refers to my immediate association with the word grandiose is like delusions of grandeur. It's something that is very delusional, and grandeur is something that is highly inflated beyond what is like could ever be accomplished realistically. Well, there could be like, I don't know, I mean, people are creative. Sometimes you kind of achieve your grandiose, but in the real world is that you actually are a person who's focusing on demanding achievement and wanting it strongly in very irrational ways. I hope that in 2024 I'm so sorry. I don't know why I keep referring to the song, but the point is, like, you have to get rid to things that are supposed to be, you're supposed to be this. You can keep desiring those things without doing that, because the trick, this is the point that we're like really rushing to. Once you think of your life as a must, you're gonna be desperate, because you're gonna get to a certain point where you're not getting the things that you want, and then you're compromising on the things that you do have access to and the things that you do have. I made a video earlier that you could go check that talks about things that you're going to do to change your life. And one of the things that I talked about, you need to do a value assessment test. That has a link in the description box of the video that I'm talking about, that you have to do a value assessment test to discover what you are, what you value, the type of person that you are, and discover your strengths too, so that you're not overestimating and you're not underestimating, but you're just doing it like Goldilocks, finding just the right place. I don't know why I'm so excited. I just think this is how I am in my natural space. So, and I think it's because I'm talking, and I love talking, and the chair keeps turning. But anyway, I hope you guys heard what I was trying to say, and I hope that you guys can change your lives with what I was trying to say. And I'm gonna change my life too, because I think I was stuck in the area of masturbations a lot, where I thought of grandiose things, demanded change that I was not willing to give, and just thought that this must happen so that happens, because that's what I thought in my world. But actually in real life, that's not how things work. So we gotta recalibrate. The camera is here and here, so I just don't know what is happening. But anyway, thank you everybody for watching. See you in the next video.